the Kupyansk direction has entered one of the most unstable phases in the months. Over the last 7 days, Russian forces intensified assaults along multiple axes, and Ukrainian units had to conduct emergency rotations, and the line of contact shifted in several critical locations. This isn't a large-scale breakdown, but it's a dangerous tightening of pressure. So let's break down exactly what happens in the last week and what Russia is preparing and what Ukraine might face in next 7 days. For the 7th week in a row, Sinivka remains the hottest point of the Kupyansk sector. But in the last 7 days, several key changes occurred. Russia increased infantry pushes along the forest belt north of Sinivka. Satellite and geolocated footage confirmed the Russian groups trying to secure new tree lines west of the village. But Ukrainian reported 20 plus glide bomb strikes, like mostly FAB 250 and the FAB 500, targeting trenches and supplies nodes. Ukrainian brigades involved: the 14 Mechanized Brigade, the 32 Mechanized Brigade, drone detachments from territorial defense, but several Ukrainian positions were temporarily pushed back from a tree line closer to Sinivka-Kislivka road, but the front line overall remains stable, with no Russian operational breakthrough. During the last 7 days, Russia conducted repeated probing attacks to test Ukrainian defenses. At least 2 small Russian assault groups were destroyed by FPV drones strikes. Ukrainian carried out limited counterattacks to restore lost edges of forest lines. So this already is important because the Russian potential fallback road if Sinivka stalls. For now, no territorial shift has confirmed, but pressure continues. This week, Russia increased artillery fire, specifically toward the rail junction. 122 mm and 152 mm shelling intensified. Drones targeted warehouse, transporting clusters, and rare staging areas. And Ukrainian logistics slowed, but it didn't stop. So the Russian main goal is to disrupt Ukraine's reinforcements flow before attempting a push on Petropavlovka later. Over the last week, several Ukrainian units were rotated out due to the expansion. Fresh infantry groups were observed moving into position east of Kupyansk, Vyzhlovye. Ukrainians is building a layered defense lines inside the forest west of Sinivka. So this indicates Ukrainian expects continued assaults and no pause. So Russians' loss was about 300 to 400 killed and wounded. 8 to 12 armored vehicles, mostly MTLB and the BMP. 2 artillery systems hit by counter-battery fire and multiple FPV drone losses. The Ukrainian also have losses. 3 to 5 vehicles visually confirmed. Personal losses increased specifically after FAB series on Sinivka positions and several dugouts destroyed by glide bombs. Before we continue, I want to pause for a moment and explain something very important to you. So everything I'm showing you here, this is satellite coordinates, frontline shifts, verified geolocations reports. They don't come from mainstream media, okay? So they came from a collection of private groups, military briefings, insider channels, analytics I follow daily. And most of this information never appears on public telegrams or Western news. And this is why I created our private Discord community, the Newsmaker community. And this is what you find inside. We've got exclusive frontline maps, real-time Kupyansk, Avdiivka, southern updates, verified footage with precise geotags, deep geopolitical breakdowns, yearly warnings, and weekly forecast. It's kind of information that lets you understand what's really happening, not what headlines simplify. So if you want access to this level of details, it's less than $2 per day, and it directly supports my work and keeps the channel independent. Link is in the description. Join us and let's stay ahead for news cycle together. Now back to the Kupyansk. What Russia is preparing in the next 7 days? Based on activity observed in this week, Russia is preparing one of the 3 possible actions. First one, it sees some indicators that say the constant arrival of small infantry rotation groups, steady use of glide bombs, attempts to secure more forest stripes, artillery calibration of Ukrainian trenches. But what they want? So they want to push Ukrainian forces of the second defensive line toward Petropavlovka. Okay, but the risk for Ukraine next week is to have heavy FAB strikes, the 250 and also the big one, the FAB 500. Loss of several tree lines, increased drone warfare. The second action, it can be probably, but not 100%, it shows the indicator from Russia attempt to widen the battlefield. These are indicators that show us that Russia has increased reconnaissance near Kislivka, rising drone activity, and probing attacks with small assault groups. The goal is to force Ukraine to strengthen defense and reduce pressure at Sinivka. Or the last action, Russia may slow down for regrow if losses remain high. The indicators show us that decreasing in aviation, reduction of artillery intensity, and visible rotation of worn-out units. So for now, none of these are happening. So pause is unlikely. So what Ukraine can do in the next week? First, they can strengthen defensive layers. Ukraine already started reinforcing the secondary trenches west of Sinkivka, forest belts near Petropavlovka, fallback lines near Kupyansk and Vuzloy. This suggested Ukraine to expect continued close contact infantry attacks. The second one is the intensified drone warfare. Over 13 FPV drones hits were recorded in this week. And the next week, they might increase dramatically due to better weather, new deliveries, adaptation to Russian tactics. Ukraine even can increase counter-battery fire because they just recently deployed M777, M777 units, self-propelled Hotweiser, new drone spotted teams, and even they expect more Russian artillery losses in the next week. The Kupyansk sector is not collapsing, okay, but it's slowly, steadily becoming more dangerous. In the last 7 days, we also see that Russia advanced slightly in the forest belts, Ukrainian stabilized central lines, aviation became the single biggest threat, and the casualties increased on the both sides. Pressure is rising, but it's not decreasing. Next week will likely determine whether Russia gains momentum near Sinivka or Ukraine successfully locks the line of the winter phase. Whatever happens, the next 10 days will be very critical. And that's the full price of what happened around Kupyansk this week and what may unfold in the next 7 to 10 days. So this direction doesn't make global headlines every day, but it's becoming one of the key pressure points of the entire Northern Front. So I'll continue to track everything in the real time and bringing you clear, verified updates without noise, without speculation, and without political filters. If you want to stay ahead of what's really happening, make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, and check the links in the description for additional insights in daily analytics. Stay safe and stay informed. And see you in the next report.